full. Tune in and watch the drama unfold.
Given the Leafs the lead. This time we're going to finish the job.
This is huge for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they come out and for the first time since 2002 go up 2-0 in a series. It wasn't the prettiest game. It wasn't the best game. What matters is the Leafs are up 2-0 in one of the, I'm going to go craziest, most interesting playoff games in the Core 4 era. But what matters is, like you just showed there, Max Domi, the Leafs win. They played, they played hockey for a couple periods. They took it off for a little bit, but none of that matters now. What matters is my voice is going. The Leafs won 2-0 for the first time since 2002. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the Ottawa Senators' only, I'm going to say it here, that was their only chance. That was their prime chance to make it 1-1 going back home. The Leafs played terrible hockey for about half of this game. Started picking up a little bit towards the end. Both of the goals from the Ottawa Senators were interesting. Kind of the Leafs hurting themselves there, but none of that mattered. The Leafs win 2-0, and holy,
we'll get into that stuff. We'll get into that stuff.
Absurd game, and we'll get the Benoit train going here shortly as well. But man, oh man, I mean, I'm absolutely fired up, and it's closer than it should have been. But that's playoff hockey for you. Stuff like that's going to happen. We saw it in the Montreal game. And we saw it again in the Leafs game here. But the Leafs got the job done. Coasted for a little bit too long. They're up 2-0 in this series, heading back to Ottawa for a home game for the Senators.
Home game for the Ottawa Senators. Home game. It's not going to be. But let me tell you, Nick, my thoughts on this one. They stopped playing after the first period, but the vibe is still hell yeah, brother. The glasses are back. The hat's back. A lot of you forgot that I have this.
Yeah.
Right? Domi in the house. Let's go. Hasn't been on the wall for a little while, but still here in the room. Max Domi.
As Jim comes in.
Jim with the 10.
With the 10 gifted. We were also a certain threshold away from new emotes dropping. So, Jim, I think with yours, we unlocked another emote. So, Star, Lizard, we had an all-time high for emote or for members. It's a crazy time if you're new to all of this. Darius said it's a crazy time. Russell.
We also have a brand new one. Okay, I'll get to it in a second.
As Paul comes in with 10, Max picked up a good time to shoot instead of pass. Hopefully that crushes the Sens. Jim, you're a legend. Paul, you're a legend. Everybody in here is a legend. Blake coming in with a 279. Man, oh man, just an absolutely jaw-dropping game. And Jim, you got a membership from Jim. We're going for our all-time high of 200 members. I think I don't know exactly how many we're at, maybe 50 or so away, something like that. But we're going. I got my white towel out. Start shaking that around every time there's a donation. It's not a Leafs towel. It's just a normal white towel, but it's my it's the way I support from the home.
That's right. And the Leafs are up 2-0 for the first time since 2002. They're going back to Ottawa, and I think this is the perfect opportunity to bring up a new emote tonight, which we just added to the thing here. And we're gonna have another new one now for Game 3. Thank you to Jim, courtesy of Jim. It is Leafs in 4, baby. Leafs in 4, courtesy Craig Berube. Let's go.
That is so.
Leafs in 4. There it is. Jim using it already. Let's go.
Scary for a minute. Scary for a minute there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the Brock score as well in case you missed the game. Darius said he's going to dance in the Leafs cowboy hat. I need to, it's just the time. What a time. We're bringing out. I have to. If you're unfamiliar with this, because if you joined, this was for the inaugural start of the season. So this was worn in Game 1. Hasn't been worn much since. I don't do it very often.
You wore it for a bit last stream as well. Just for,
Yeah, I tapped it on my
made
head.
a little cameo last stream, but I think it calls for
Holy
it.
man, oh man, I am.
Rube saying that you can't see me. Leafs in 4. All of that. All of that.
And we will dive into the game here.
Can I just say, by the way, John Cena is champion again, and the Leafs are up 2-0 in a series. I have no idea what year it is, but I think it's 2004. Let's go.
Yeah, it's been since 2002. We're talking almost 3 decades. Yeah, the hat looks good. It crushes my head, but you know what? I'm gonna keep rocking it.
Heavy as the crown.
Got some stuff. Got some rust on it. Benwa needs the credit given. Best defenseman on the ice. Let's get the Benoit train. I don't have the emote. I think I lost it, but we'll get the.
I think this is almost better.
Yeah,
just having it up there.
You got the. It's the Benoit train. We boarded this last year, which is crazy how everything comes full circle. We boarded this last season. Taking this off now hurts my head, but we boarded.
This stays on. I'm a very superstitious person. This stays on forever at this point, actually. This is staying on until they win the cup.
Knock on wood. I'm confident. Now, you missed the
Looking
game.
good.
I feel like a lot of you guys probably didn't miss the game. It was the craziest game in a while. I mean, the core 4, they look pretty good. I mean, you go up 2-0 early, and I was thinking, wow, Ottawa isn't even on the same level as the Leafs. And then the Leafs decided to stop playing hockey and just play defensive minded. And I cannot wait. Oh, I'm ready for it. Where it's going to be, well, the Ottawa Senators, outplayed them in the 5-on-5 game.
5-on-5.
I'm ready for it. And to be honest, I mean, kind of, in case you guys missed it, the goal that Ottawa scored was the first shot on Stolarz in 58 minutes of real time. So, and it was off a terrible, if OEL doesn't do the drop pass there, a goal probably isn't scored. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different, factors to take in here. But it doesn't really matter. What matters is, I do also think there's going to be some lineup changes. I do think there is. One in particular.
Oh, yeah, that was
I think Robertson's done for.
a couple things here.
He did exactly what I was worried about, which was take a dumb penalty which led to a goal. And he only played 9 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't play a lot, and he took a dumb penalty. And I guess we can dive into some of the negative, because the only positive thing is that they won this game, the results. The actual gameplay after the first period was horrible. I thought that this game was going to be won and lost in the first period, which is crazy. But Ottawa showed that bounce back that we were talking about. And besides that, the Leafs didn't do themselves too many favors. They weren't playing the greatest, and especially after the first period, I should say. And they looked like a completely different team after the first period, the Leafs. It was unbelievable. But yeah, Robertson took a bad penalty. It didn't look necessarily great tonight. A lot of losing puck battles didn't have that same spark that he had in game 1. So that is going to be something. And I've said it from the beginning of this series. Pacioretty, I wonder if he gets in on the road.
He does.
I really do. So I think that's something we're going to be looking at. I do have to say, though, Nick, and for everyone in the chat, I've always been a fan since the beginning, I should say, and at the very beginning when we first saw Pontus Holmberg, I was a big fan. I was going to
say the exact same thing.
Yeah, I was a big fan of his, and then I kind of soured on him throughout this year because he just had an interesting year. It was just sometimes it was where did this come from? And then sometimes it's what is this player doing?
Yep.
I thought he was great tonight. He was great. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, deserves to be up there. I thought he was fantastic. So credit where credit's due.
Berube going with Domi in the second line in overtime.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Domi, he didn't look great till the goal, but he got the goal. I mean, I don't know.
The good thing about Robertson here getting potentially scratched in game 3 is he's going to get back in game 4 and score 3 goals.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
because he always responds that way. So that's a bright side there.
Morgan Riley, another great game offensively and defensively, very good.
Yeah.
OEL, bad game, but that is what it is.
OEL was wrestling for a lot of this game, unfortunately. So also, we haven't brought it up yet. Nobody's brought it up because everyone's, we'll get to it.
Scott becomes a member. Scott, welcome. Thank you for contributing.
Scott.
You now have a bunch of new emotes, a bunch of perks, things like that. Leafs of 4. And thank you very much, Scott.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I'm just trying to find the emote here. Found him here. Anthony Stolarz. Beating the bleep out of Ridley Gregg and then dropping him, which was a dive, by the way. Deserved that penalty, Ridley Gregg. Don't go in the crease. Don't go in the crease. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Absolute flop. Also, Tim Stützle, you're not doing yourself any favor with that narrative around you, buddy. But yeah.
I'm gonna be a voice of reason.
Okay.
And I'm very rarely. It probably was a bit of a dive. I don't know how he got a penalty on that, by the way. As Blake comes
Goes
in
back
with
to
the
last game.
699, it is 100% because of last game. Blake comes in 699. Holmberg is a very good player. He loves touching the puck with one hand on the stick, and Patches takes over Robertson next game. I tend to agree, Blake. Thank you very much. As Aiden also comes in with the 699. What's your prediction for any line changes next game? We can dive into that. I think it's very simple. I think it's Robo, Patches for Robo, or David Kemp for Robo. I think it's one of those two. It's one of those two, depending on who's more prepared.
It's if Robertson's the one coming out, it's going to be. I think David Camp is sitting for a while now. I have to be honest. I think that barring any injuries, of course, but
We'll
I
know
think
tomorrow,
that,
which is the beauty of all this.
yeah, if Pacioretty's coming in, it's going to be Robertson. So I do believe that. I do imagine it's going to be another short-ish practice tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be the 15 minutes that we saw yesterday because of their performance tonight. I know the result
And are
was
they
great.
traveling tomorrow? I'm assuming so.
Yes, yeah, they would be. Yeah, they want to get that. You don't want to travel on the day of the game, so they'll probably go in tomorrow as well. I would imagine they'll be on the ice and then they'll travel right after. But again, I don't think it's going to be a super long practice, but definitely feel like you need to get out there, have Berube yell at you for about 30 minutes, and then get in there. Did you see that thing with Mark Savard, by the way, where he's celebrating?
We went from super excited to
super
Berube
excited
told him,
last game.
settle down, buddy.
Berube was like, "Settle down, pal. What are you doing?" He literally looked him in the eye and said, "What are you doing?
That's so.
What are you doing?" Can you imagine that if Berube looked you in the eye and was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, I can imagine.
With a
Hit the
straight
like button
face.
as well if you're new. Daily Leafs videos, all those different things. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be Patches in for Robertson. I mean, he didn't do anything positive. I saw Wes Brinkett saying, I disagree with Holmberg. No finish did the good things, but ends offense should be on the third line, Domingue the second. You know, it's fair. I thought he played really well. But, it is what it is.
If I knew why they eased up on hitting, I'd be a very rich man.
I think
'cause
they
then I could
just
figure that out for teams.
They got complacent, I think, and
Yeah.
tried. And to be fair, they got outplayed a little bit. In the second they got outplayed. The third, they shot attempts. If it wasn't for that OEL, wraparound, we'd still be talking about how, of course, the Leafs didn't play well. But I think they would have won the game in regulation. Like, that goal was just bad.
Yeah.
And the first goal as well. Like, I don't think either for one, neither goal is Anthony Stolar's fault, which is unfortunate. He is the better goalie, and even Linus Ullmark, respect to him, he kind of bounced back, but the Leafs also barely put any shots on goal that were of any substance. They were like, a few of those shots were literally just backhanders that were at 1 mile an hour. So.
Yeah. And they even had that one chance late in the third because they finally picked it up. They were getting more shots, but they weren't high danger shots. But they picked it up in the third. They had that one chance where Allmark just doesn't look good. He just doesn't look confident in the net. So that's going to be a factor moving forward because the Leafs, they're going to push back next game. Now the Leafs didn't have a good performance. They're going to push back next game. So.
First goal was Carlo. Wasn't really his fault.
Yeah, it's not
it was
his
just
fault.
Kind of, but it was, unfortunate. I think it was actually on, I think Benoit was supposed to be there. But regardless, bounces off his skate and goes in. The next goal, OEL, if he literally just takes it across, boom. That's and you can't do. So I'm fine. And yeah, going back to the Stolarz thing, I love it what he did to Ridley Gregg. That being said, I still don't know how Gregg got the penalty, but it's because of last game, and I think everything ended up being fine. But I saw that it's blowing up on Twitter as well. For what it's worth.
It's because they were going back and forth at each other, and the refs know what happened last game. So the fact that he got dropped, but he was in the crease and everything that happened, they were like, okay,
I agree with the drop, but I mean the before, like the 8 slash.
Yeah, I know.
But
the thing is, if they give only one guy a penalty there, then it's going to continue. So, like, I actually think that was a good thing by the refs. Like, I don't say that too often, but I actually think that was a good move because there was none of that the rest of the game. Stolarz got his licks in.
I could see why a Senators fan would be annoyed. That's all.
100%. Yeah.
But again, at the same time, like, it's gonna happen. I don't even think Ridley Gregg was that upset. I think he was pretty like, okay, fair enough.
I think he knew that was coming. Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Last game, and I'm not saying what he did last game was completely on purpose, but like, come on, what are we doing?
Let's also dive into the impact scorecard. At the top.
Oh boy.
Morgan Riley.
That's new. That's new to this year.
Makes sense. Austin Matthews again being atop of the scoreboard just because of the impact scorecard, because of how good he's been playing on both ends. Even though he was a little bit like the core force seemed pretty quiet today, but it was a weird game. The Leafs need to not do that. And that's why it would have been concerning if they lost this one. They need to not take their foot off the gas. Though towards the end of the third into the and also just so we're aware, I believe one power play in the entire game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they were on the power play for 18 seconds in the whole game. And I think there was a lot of penalties that could have went both ways. You have the high stick. It's the right call. I don't love the call, but it's the right call. An inch away from a delay of game penalty. Like, there were so many things. So good game from the Senators. Bad game from the Leafs. Unlucky game from the Leafs. and you win. So I mean, it is what it is.
Sometimes you got to be lucky to be good and good to be lucky. So that's I went in the Leafs' favor tonight. It's great for us, but
I'd rather win and get dominated, like Ottawa Senators
I'd
fans
rather
are
the
saying,
result,
than lose and be like, well, we got him on the.
if the Leafs end up winning this series in 4 or 5, and then the Senators, and their fans are taking home that they, won majority of the 5-on-5 minutes, like what are we doing? You lost the series. You know what I mean? So I'll take this result any day. And Jim says that the Leafs actually scored 5 goals tonight and Senators 0. That's hilarious because technically true. But I think that, one thing we haven't mentioned as well, you touched on it a little bit, is the power play in this series. It's almost like they've been hiding something from us. Yep. It's mind-blowing that quick strike offense. Like, I don't know if any power play that they've had where they converted, I should say, has lasted more than 20 seconds in this series. It's been quick, right off the draw. I think today was the longest one that they've converted on. I know they had a couple in game 1 that they didn't because they were 3 for 6, I believe. So in those other 3, obviously didn't convert. But in the 3 they did last game, it was a couple seconds. And then today, I think it was less than 20 seconds. So quick strike. Haven't seen that all season. It's been like pass around the perimeter, maybe get it to the net when they have been successful. But it's awesome. It looks good. They look bad today, except for one period. The first period, they looked awesome in the first period, if we can say that. They looked great.
At least probably. They got outplayed. For most of
Senators had nothing. Senators had nothing, but the rest of the game they were outplayed.
Yeah.
So
I'm fine. I'm fine saying the Leafs got outplayed that game a little bit in the if we want to go back in the 5-on-5 or whatever. It was a bad game for the Leafs. They should have won that game. They should have played better offensively. They just took their foot off the gas, but they won the game. So it is what it is. And I'm curious to see what Travis Green's going to be saying. I can't imagine Craig Bruba's super happy either with the way that they played, because they should have won a lot more. That being said, what a goal for Max Domi. Just that you need it. Incredible.
Yeah, and he poked it. He made it work for himself. I think, you touched on it too, that Benoit made that play happen, which was awesome. And you kind of I don't know what it was. I kind of felt like something's going to happen here, and it could be good or bad because Benoit's now out of position. So either the Leafs might score here or it's going to be a disaster going back the other way. So there was a high spot there. I liked it. But then Domi grabbed it and put it in the back of the net. Nice shot too.
Yeah.
Domi has a good shot for a guy who never uses it. It was a nice shot, put it in. Nice big celly too. They showed his dad in the crowd after too, which was pretty cool because he was a huge factor, his dad in the Battle of Ontario as well. So Domi, again, making his name known in these Battle of Ontario series. So
Jim saying, I missed the second goal. Can you describe it? That was, I believe, the power play one. So Tavares just, I think, threw it across the knives and it bounced off of
skating in.
I forget who it was.
Jensen, maybe?
Yeah. And off his skating in. So
yeah, I just threw it to the net. Very similar to the Nylander goal across, which is something I've noticed they've been doing a lot in this series. Across the ice, hit a skate and went in. But Knies was battling in front. He made it happen. Then he jumped up celebrating. So that was fun.
Scott, no world.
What happened?
No world. He's asking if they should play a wall to lose the game to extend the series. There's no world. You got to
No.
Let's not forget the 3-1 leads and all these different things. Just sweep the series, take your rest. You're going to have to play Florida anyways, most likely. And Florida looks terrifying. I think what are they, up 6-2? Yep, 6-2.
Oh, they're absolutely
6-2 right now. And they're going to win this series. I believe
it's looking likely. Matthew Tkachuk
has 2 goals. Nate Schmidt has 2 goals.
I don't know if that's going to last, though. That series is going to go long.
I hope so.
Tampa is really good.
2 sweeps and then on both sides and just get it going.
Well, get ready, boys. Get ready for the next series.
With the 6-99. I want Leafs in 4, but I think Toronto will win in 5. They will lose Thursday's game. They will win the series back in Toronto. My prediction was Leafs in 5. I think Ottawa has enough talent to win 1. The problem is now, that is the biggest gut punch if you're a Senators fan or just the Senators in general, right? You came back from 2-0 to lose an OT on and you had multiple chances in the third to score another goal, even though, unfortunately for the Senators, I guess, they missed a ton of shots. They couldn't hit the net because they had a ton of offensive zone time and they didn't hit a shot on goal for a while. It didn't feel like they didn't have a shot on goal in 58 real-time minutes, an hour.
Also, no real high danger chances at all throughout the game. They did have a few. I'm not saying they had 0 of them, but I feel like they weren't that dangerous in close. Right, they're just kind of lobbing stuff from everywhere. So
Ottawa should have won the night. That's the end of it. If you're going by, if you're a Senators fan, you got to be thinking, sure, Ottawa should have won that game, and that's one where, in the past, at least probably lose. So,
but that's exactly what I was gonna say. How many times have Leafs fans been in that position where you're we should have won this game. Like all of the 2022 series, it was like preposterous. Like how did they lose this game? So, yeah, I think that I don't know, man. Like the Sens are not even going back home. That crowd is going to be 90% Leafs fans. Like they're in top. The Leafs got to clamp. This is the thing for me now going forward. Now that you're up 2-0, the Leafs have to take a strangle. You have to win game 3. Don't give the Sens any life because 2-1, like if you know a bad bounce, it's 2-2 in the next game, right? Take a stranglehold of this, and then even if you don't win game 4, like what happened with Florida, win it back at home in game 5. So, they have a great opportunity in front of them here. Like take a strangle, like kill all these narratives this year. It's different this year. Kill everything. Go and win this series
I'd like
in
to
4
see,
or 5.
yeah, I'd like to see patches and make a little bit of a change.
Mhm.
I mean, ultimately, it is what it is. Let's get Jim in here and get some thoughts.
It will be 90% Leafs fans because a lot of Senators fans are actually Leafs fans.
Yeah, and now energy is, if they would have tied it going back home, maybe we would have saw some Mitch Marner come out and saying it's going to be even harder. So we're just getting started for Max Domi. I love it. I love it. All right, Jim. What a win. What a game. I mean, it was an interesting one, but, there was a lot of hate going into that overtime about Domi and his turnovers, all these different things. None of that, all that's washed away now. None of that matters. Same with Morgan Riley being bad in the regular season. 2 goals already. What are your thoughts on this game? And, wow, my voice is going. That's literally just from yelling to myself after that Ottawa goal or overtime goal, not
Yeah.
Ottawa goal.
Guys, I'm really happy to be on here again with you tonight. And wow, 2-0 series lead. I mean, to be honest, guys, there was the latter portion of the second. I started to see, some bad habits, and I think they're trying to protect the lead. But it's okay to protect the lead by still being offensive too. And I think that's one of those things where they tend to get stuck in this mindset when they have a lead. And they've done that throughout the regular season too, and it's been effective. But sometimes, and definitely in the playoffs, I don't think it's always going to work. So yeah, leading into going into the overtime, tell you, that felt like Leafs playoff nerves to me because I was like, I that we were going to drop that game. And what all said, we probably we were outplayed badly in the second. I think the Leafs outshot Ottawa pretty significantly in the third, but they were still outshooting us. And so I'm okay with them outshooting us because although I haven't looked at the goal map or rather the shot map to see where they are, but I would think that Ottawa's goal map would probably be a lot of perimeter stuff. So even though they're out shooting us, I don't think it's like the same level of quality scoring chances again. That said, it didn't feel good. So, like the first game, I felt great, and even after the first period, boys, we're up 2-0. It felt really, really solid. But I going into the third and definitely into the overtime, I was feeling like some old time jitters. But Darius is, his jersey as he held it up there. Yeah, Domi came and he really showed up tonight, and I'd like to know your guys' thoughts about that third line because as I said in the chat, I wasn't very happy with their performance throughout most of the game. Robertson we can talk about in a bit, but I didn't think. I mean, Domi looked on that line, but to be honest, guys, I'm a little disappointed with the play of Bobby McMahon so far. I know it's only 2 games. I expected more out of him, and frankly, I expect more out of Matthew Nyes. But as far as the third line guys, I don't know. I expected a little bit more from them, and I think so far they've kind of underwhelmed. Thoughts?
I think so. I agree on a couple of things you said. That first of all, Domi didn't have the greatest game again, but he was shining in overtime. He came in with the shot and obviously overtime hero.
Yep.
They didn't play well tonight. Travis Green been living for his quotes. He came out and said, "There's no need to panic," which I think I would, I would a little bit if I was him.
Sorry, Darius.
Yeah,
is that what he said? He came out after him, and that was Travis Green's quote. There's no need to worry after the result of this game.
Yeah, he said after going down 2-0, it says here from Jesse Blake of SDPN, he said after going down 2-0, Travis Green says there is no need to panic.
Yeah, he's right, man. He's right.
Well, Well,
That
I mean, there's no need. I agree with him. There's no need to panic, but unfortunately for him, there's a lot of reason to panic because
right,
he's coaching the other team.
right,
You know?
right. I don't know
But
if he
anyway,
knows
sorry,
this, but he's
continue.
actually not on the Leafs anymore. So
Right.
I know the atmosphere in the building is probably, giving him flashbacks, but he's not actually on the Leafs anymore. So well, we'll see if he figures it out in game 3. But no, I've been living for those quotes. Fantastic. But I do agree with Bobby McMahon. I feel like so far in this series, he's been like one shift on, one shift off, which is like,
Yeah.
you know, when you can't get put, or when you can't, this is the thing we've been talking about with Robertson all year. When you can't put it together consistently, that's going to be a problem, especially in the playoffs. So that's something I've been seeing. And I think Nyes was pretty good last game, especially on the power play doing his thing. I
Hmm.
actually was thinking to myself halfway through this game, I'm like, Nyes, like, doesn't even look like he's not producing tonight or doing anything positive. He actually looks bad. I just don't know what it was about it. Like, he just seemed like he was switching wings. Like he just didn't look comfortable at all tonight.
Hmm.
So he looked pretty bad. And I think that there was one play that they were showing, who was making the rounds on Twitter during the game, where Matthews came onto the bench and he was absolutely reaming somebody out on the bench. And I think he was actually talking to Nyes.
I
It looked
think
like
it
he
was
was
the
talking
refs
to
for
Nyes.
the offside. I
It
think.
could have been the refs. It could have
We'll
been the
see.
refs, but there was, I don't know, there was a lot going on there, and I think that a lot of the guys were talking to each other. You could see them barking at each other on the
Yeah,
bench today.
Darius, if I can add to that,
Yeah, yeah.
so I have like at my place I have like a thing where I can watch multiple different camera angles of the game at once. And you're right, he was. So it was Nyes on the bench. He was yelling about the non-call, but he was
Mm.
also yelling at Nyes directly about something.
And what I think it was is if you watch it back, because I wrote this note down because I was like, I actually want to bring this up on the stream. That when he was yelling at him again, could have been the refs. I think it was actually at Nyes too. That's just the way I saw it. But on that play, Nyes goes with one hand on his stick to chip it past the guy to try and get an offensive face-off.
Yeah.
And the other two guys, Matthews and Marner, are changing. So I think Matthews was yelling at him like, "You got to know better to just put that deep. Like, don't try and beat him there. Just put it deep and like get a change." So that's kind of what I saw on that. Again, we don't have to read too much into it, but yeah, I don't think Nyes was that great tonight. I don't think Robertson was awful. Like I have no problem saying that. So
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
we can get into him too.
Well, I
But
think. Yeah, sorry. I think when it comes to Robertson, you know what? Like again, it's been. I feel like this is broken record. I'm always saying the same thing. So I'm going to try to say this in a different way. Just that the last game, I had a lot of praise for him because he's not a big guy. He came out and played physical. But the problem is, and this has been a knock on him the entire year, there's no consistency there. And so I'll just say this: I'm done discussing the ups and Robertson. I have a feeling that for at least the next game, I won't have to worry about it. Because you saw just in terms of ice time, I think he got just over 3 minutes in the third. That's not great.
Yeah.
I would think
you got to be able to rely on your bottom six.
Absolutely, especially when if you're Berube, knowing that and you're looking at your third line versus fourth line, you've got a fourth line that every time they're out there, they are causing havoc, they're causing turnovers, and they're causing a great deal of offensive pressure, and they're reliable defensively. So at the very least, you should expect that as a baseline for your third line, and right now we can't say that. That, and I don't know. So I'm a big proponent. I like Pacioretty. I will not be surprised if Robo sits next game and Patches comes in either in place on the third line or somewhere else. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd like to know what you guys think about that possibility, and if you think I'm just blowing smoke here, or if you think it's realistic.
I think it's gone. I think he's going to be out. I think it's going to be Patches. I think he's gone.
They're going to trade him.
Ryan Reeves. No, I think it's going to be Patches in for Robo.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious move here at this point, and I think it's just a swap. Like I think Pacioretty goes on the third line. I would not change anything about that second line right now. Like I said earlier in the stream, like Holmberg has really impressed me so far, just with the way he's won puck battles and the way he's skating. Like he's been fine on the second line, so keep him there until it's not working, I think.
Yeah, and I think too, when it comes to Holmberg, guys, is that especially on that second line, he has an ability to really kind of, and I mentioned it over one of your videos. I mentioned it in the comments, but like, it's his ability to like really do well and protect the puck in the corners. And so if he's the F1 going in and doing that, and which he was many times tonight, then it allows his line mates to be able to do the things they do best and not have to, be battling it out in the corners like that. And I think, I think he looked really good, especially since he's on the second line. There's a lot higher expectations, more ice time, and I thought he did really well tonight in that new role. Right, fourth line guys again, really like them. I really like them, and that hit. I think it was Steven Lorenz threw that hit on the it's somewhere in the third, but it was like a earth-shattering hit, and you can just feel it, guys. It just when he threw that hit, it just it's one of those things. It's a moment. It can be a potential momentum changer, and I love the way our fourth line's playing. I'm not sure what you guys think, but I think they're really adding a lot, and they're doing exactly what we hoped they would do when it counts.
They've been really good, honestly. I think Scott Lawn, the whole thing around him, we've talked about it a lot that, trading for him for a first round pick, that's not great. You would, if you're giving away a first round pick, you want him to play higher in the lineup. I think he's been great. So, and that fourth line, like keep them together. They haven't done anything to suggest to me that any of them should be taken out or that they're not playing great. I think that Berube can rely on them. And like you said, Lorenz had that big hit late in the third period. And I think the key thing there is late in the third period. They were on the ice, right? And Robertson barely played. Obviously, Domi was out there, but they were kind of switching up the lines a little bit, so certain guys weren't getting on the ice. So the one constant, I think, well, obviously, the top line and the second line, but the other constant was the fourth line. He hasn't broken them up, and he continues to play them and trust them in certain situations. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't break them up yet. I think the only change, if they're going to make one, again, we don't know what he's thinking, but I think it was pretty obvious tonight. The fact that Robertson, he's got a short leash. We all know that, right? So if he's not producing and then he's not skating and hitting like he was in game one, and he took that bad penalty, I think the obvious move here is take him out. Pacioretty goes in, everything else stays the same, and you kind of see and figure it out from there. If one guy's having a bad game, then maybe you move it around a little bit like he did. They made an adjustment in game one. It worked. They moved it into game two. So I wouldn't make too many changes other than that. I think the defense has been fine. Obviously, Wool is not. If Stolarz is not hurt, Wool is not touching the net. So I think it's just the one move, but they've been playing really well. The fourth line, they've been good.
Yeah, well, and I think too that we were talking about the third line with Holmberg. Holmberg had some pretty good chances tonight too. I think it was in the first, maybe
Got a
the
breakaway.
second, where he had a beautiful look. I mean, he didn't get much on it, but yeah, I mean, he is a pretty skilled guy, and so I think he's gonna, if nothing else, it gives Ottawa one more thing to worry about. And guys, we should really. I mean, I know this isn't like Sens Digest, but we have to give Sens some credit here. Like they came out tonight, they came hungry, they came really hard. They were down by 2. They did come back, and yeah, they were giving me some nervous stomach during parts of the third period. But you know what though, this is a different team. We've been saying it all years, guys, and I think whether it's our core four or another night where you got like Max Domi stepping up and scoring tonight, which I did not have on my bingo card based on the last 2 games. But that's why I love this playoffs, guys. You never know who's going to step up, and as they said during the broadcast, every night's a new hero, and that's saying and good for Domi. I like him. I just need him to be more consistent. I'm hoping that in the event that what we're talking about with Robo going out and Pacioretty coming in, I'm really interested to see that potential line and see what they can do. The Riley Gregg stuff tonight, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Stolarz leaning into him and
Yep.
Oh God, that was so funny! And give them the old the 2-handed shiver with stick was pretty awesome. But yeah, guys, unless you got anything else for me, I know it's getting late here, and yeah, it was a hell of a game, guys. I'm just super pumped. I can't believe we're up to nothing. I don't know whether I don't think we entirely deserve to win that one, but that's playoff hockey, right, boys?
On to the who cares?
how it
On to the
goes.
next. Also, Aiden, shout out to you for the 270, the 279 there, the one hand man. And yeah, Jim, I'm excited. Because guess what? I got to rest my voice in between these games. One more day off, and then we're right back at it on Thursday. And I'm really excited to see
Crazy.
the Leafs crowd in Ottawa. If they go up 3-0, may as well just Yeah, actually, I'm not going to say that. I hope they go up 3-0. I hope they go up 3-0, and I feel like they're well prepared. I feel like, honestly, in the long run, this wake-up call tonight, I think could end up being a good thing for this team.
Well, Nick, just before I go here, I just want to say, I have to agree with Canucks Digest here. Darius, you are a smoke show, buddy. Yeah. You're looking great tonight, obviously, and Canucks
Got the
Digest
old get up.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. I dressed up for this.
Absolutely. All right, here we go, boys. So we got now. We got 14 more, boys. That's all it takes. 14 more. And anyway, so for all my guys that are in the chat, shout out to everybody. Crank, Nick, Archie, all my boys out there. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. And of course, to Darius and Nick, thank you guys for having me on. If anyone's out there listening right now, and this is the first time you've listened to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and then make sure that you consider becoming a member. These guys are the best. You've seen all the rest. This channel is the absolute best for Leaf content. This isn't just another Leaf channel. This is a community. Get on board, boys. Thank you guys very much, and you guys have a good night, and go Leafs, go.
Yes, sir. And new emotes coming as well. Thank you for I couldn't have said it better myself. Myself. Have a great evening, Jim. We'll see you in the video tomorrow, but also on, of course, the stream on Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday and Saturday. And then the series will be done. And then we can move forward to round 2 and wait for an opponent after Saturday. It's going to be great. You know how great it's going to feel, Nick, when on Saturday night, the Leaf series is already done and we're here with everyone in the chat with the call-ins on Saturday. The series is done. Now we're waiting for the next 3-4 games for the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning because they decided to start their series a week later than everyone else. It's going to be a fantastic feeling.
Fire me up. Let's get into the 3 stars here. Before I lose my entire voice randomly. I didn't know.
Are you just yelling for the entire, nonstop
just
yelling?
when Domi scored. It was about 3 minutes straight, though, of yelling. I was fired up. I was terrified. Jim, I saw you ask earlier from 1 to 10, the nervous score. I was at a full-blown 10 for overtime just because I knew they needed to win this game and the vibes would have been low if they lost.
Yeah. I definitely startled my dog. I'll say that. He was fast asleep, and then he was not. So it was no, that was good. It was a pop, big pop, but no, it was awesome.
3 stars. Start with you.
All right, so my 3rd star tonight, I'm actually gonna go. You know what? No, I'm gonna give it to Anthony Stolarz again. None of the goals I thought were his fault. Unlike game 1, there was one that was his fault, but I thought he played solid and love giving the hacks and whacks. He's not going to take anything. He was aura farming, as we were talking about, and just absolutely gave him really Greg a good shot and laid him out. So love that from Anthony Stolarz.
I got to go with Morgan Riley as my 3rd star. Just a fantastic game from start to finish, and wow, what an impressive game. I mean, talk about offense being a problem for the for the defensemen. Not now. They're leading the team in goals. OEL, now Riley with 2. So yeah, I'm going to go with Riley at 3.
I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go with Max Domi, number 2.
Not mixing it up that much.
Well, yeah, I know, but I think most people have Domi 1. So Domi number 2 for me, overtime winner. I thought he was good.
I wasn't even going to put Domi on the stars, list, yeah. But
that's fair. I mean, he had the winner, but
I'm going to I'm going to make my 3rd star honorable mention of Max Domi. I want to give my 2nd star, and this is going to be crazy. I'm going to do it anyway. I want to give it to Pontus Holmberg because I thought he had a fantastic game. And I usually base my stars based off of, which isn't how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be who's better in the game, based on my expectations for the player and then how they exceeded them. And in this game, I mean, Stolarz, there's a reason. I wonder what he finished with on, obviously he didn't get a point. He finished with 3 shots. He played 15 minutes. I wanted to double check that. He played 15 minutes. He played fantastic. So my 2nd star is going to go to Pontus. And my 1st star is going to go to Anthony Stolarz. He won them the game. They could have easily, you reverse the shots. Hallmark's letting in 10 of those. I'm going to give it to, I'm going to give it to Stolarz. And honorable mention to the guy who obviously scored. But, I mean, he probably should be on there. But since you covered him, I'm going to put up, I want to give Pontus some flowers. And he played really well.
I'm going to go honorable mention for Simone Benoit tonight. Thought he was good as well. And he had the assist, I think. I don't know if he technically ended up with the assist on the overtime winner, but he brought the puck in. So Simone Benoit, honorable mention. And 1st star,
he did
Morgan
get
Riley.
the assist.
Nice. Morgan Riley, 1st star. He played well. He had the goal. Shout out to John Tavares, by the way, for putting the puck in the net anyway after, which is something you learn at a very young age, just in case. So shout out to John Tavares for that. But yeah, Morgan Riley he played a good game. Played a very well. Like him and Carlo, besides the puck going off Carlo's skate, they played well.
Habs Digest. I can hear you yelling from a different province. Well, you guys have a game tomorrow, so hopefully.
Good luck tomorrow.
Good luck. Hopefully, neither way. Yeah, just good luck. Could have won the first one.
Good luck.
It was honestly that the Habs game and the Leafs game were pretty similar in that regard. 2-0 leads early, claw back. I think something right. I'm pretty sure Habs was 2-0 early, claw back.
It's
Johnny coming in with the 5. We are closer and closer to 200 members. Nicholas Scott, Anthony, Rogue, and Sean B. We're getting very close to 200 members. That'd be a crazy goal. We've never hit 200 before. So, Johnny, thank you for your contribution towards that. And we also have a new super chat emote pending. We have one we're blending up. Right. So, and it'll have the C on Austin Matthews.
We're on our way to 200 members. We should reach it by Saturday. And ironically, the number that starts 200 will be the round that the Leafs will be heading to after Saturday night. Awesome. Yep. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you all on Thursday.
Yeah, what a fantastic win. That's what you live for. What's up, Johnny? Yes, we are wrapping up, Johnny, but I do appreciate we're at 70 likes. You guys did fantastic, everyone. We have a video. We'll have 2 videos tomorrow. We will have a video tomorrow. And like I said in the last stream, if you're up early, whatever ends up being, we'll have a video for you guys fairly early tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
We'll have another video with an update. I assume tomorrow. I think tomorrow's going to be a pretty busy day when it comes to specifically some moves being made. But ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the day off. The stress-free game. It was a very long game. It was a stressful game. Leafs got it done. Thank you, Johnny, very much.
Thank you, Johnny.
Have a fantastic evening. Enjoy the hockey game if you're watching it, Minnesota, Vegas, basketball, whatever. It's a crazy time of year right now. The Jays absolutely suck, so it's good that the Leafs are coming out. And
absolutely insane game. Just to chime in here quick before we wrap up. Last night, the Oilers and the Kings. Yeah. Insane. So it's going to be
good hockey all the way around.
Playoffs, yeah.
And most importantly, for the first time in almost 3 decades. Almost 3 decades is a severe stretch because it's actually 23 years. But for the first time in 23, 24 years, the Leafs are 2-0. And it's the first year that Darius and I are doing, Darius and I are doing the live stream. So, bit of good luck, I think. Maybe having us out here is there. Hopefully another celebration on Thursday, like you said, Dan. Take it easy, everybody. Thank you again to Jim for all the support and everybody else. See you guys later.
Leafs Digest, your daily dose of gold. Stories of the bold where legends are told. From first pop drop to the season's full. Tune in.